Hello, my name is Simon Miller from What Culture Wrestling, and you are listening to the PodMania Pro Wrestling Podcast, and you better keep listening to it. Why? Here's why.
You're listening to the PodMania Pro Wrestling Podcast, a sample of the best pro wrestling podcasts we can produce on our tiny budget. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, CastBox, and all other podcast platforms. If it's wrestling you want, check out more of our great content at podmania.co.uk. Let's do this.
Ooh-wee, you look like Hunter Hearst Hemsley. Oh, and you're Stephanie McMahon. I don't care what they say about us anyway. I don't care about that. Hi, Garth.
You alright?
Clapping. Have you missed me?
Yes.
It's been a while.
Has.
When is the last time me and you recorded a podcast together?
Probably the beginning of the month.
Oh, no, I think it's before then. Hang on. I'll bring up the Spotify right now. Just tell the crowd how you've been while I bring up the Spotify.
Just extremely busy, hence the lack of episodic content for me.
A lack of Geordie. No, the last time we did one was 12th of October with your top 10 favourite wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Which
Which
I don't remember because I was quite drunk during it.
I don't remember because I was so awfully tired.
You carried that. You carried that though. I remember you carrying it quite well.
No, just life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very casual episode. We're going super cash.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah,
really.
we're just going to talk about modern day wrestling because we haven't really caught up in modern day wrestling since we finished the old format. And I'm sort of like, I did enjoy the old format, but it's very hard to keep up with, especially when you have to watch shit on a deadline. And
it makes it feel like a chore when you have to.
I know.
Analyze it.
And that's why I sort of like the new the new way me and Rob are doing the Young Lion, because only he needs to watch it. I'm just there for like Japanese wrestling knowledge. So like during Tag League, I don't need to watch shit.
Does anybody need to watch it?
Nobody needs to watch Tag League. Just like
45 hours of it.
No, because seriously, right now, Garth, New Japan does not have a tag division. They have Guerrillas of Destiny. Let me put it this way: their junior tag division is currently fuller. And they struggled to get together 6 or 7 teams for junior tag league.
Like, why would you not just bring in some randoms?
What's really weird, they have partnerships. Like, bring in Aussie Open. They've used Aussie Open, and they're really good. They should bring them in. Bring in CC. Then again, Chris Brooks is with DDT, but I'm sure you can get him out of that. Fucking bring in Chris Brooks and Jonathan Gresham, CCK. Mm-hmm. What's some good Ring of Honor tag teams? The Kingdom? They're not good. Briscoes. Then again, I don't think Ring of Honor would give up the Briscoes for a month.
No. But then again, speaking of modern wrestling, on ROH, just sort of slowly declining into shit.
Joey Mercury has apparently left, and like shit has been coming out. Something between him and Kelly Klein. What was that?
I didn't read it properly. I just saw like a bit of it, but it sounded like they were Mercury was just saying like the management are just uber unprofessional. Ooh,
a report from 4 hours ago, Garth. Joey Mercury has lashed out at general manager.
Yeah.
This is live, ladies and gentlemen. It was a podcast, and Mercury went off on Twitter earlier this morning to go. But wait, do we have the screenshots? Wait, there we go. Mercury in. There we go. Now you attack me after months of. Oh God, this is really a big thing. I really should have prepared for this. Oh my God, Garth, why am I so unprofessional?
Because we don't have Rob here.
We don't. You're very correct. Me and you are here. Me and you are the funny aspect of this podcast, right? Rob can...
We are the unruly children when
Rob does sound really tired by the end of the podcast with both of us.
Yeah.
Like, really tired.
That's why he's currently away over in the Big Apple.
Yeah, over in New York. Not seeing a single wrestling show, which I'm judging him for. But also, I guess he's with non-wrestling.
I thought he could have Got his mates to go along.
I think he should have, because like New York is one of those fucking wrestling meccas.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like there, London and Tokyo are sort of like the best wrestling city. In terms of like shit going on, not necessarily in terms of crowd.
Yeah.
But like you look at London, you have like Fight Club Pro, Attack, Progress, Pro Wrestling Eve. Most of these promotions mean nothing to you. Or like in New York, there's a lot based in New York, like a lot of indie shit. And then in Japan you have like, well, obviously All Japan, Noah, New Japan, Stardom, Tokyo Joshi Pro, Ice Ribbon, Dragon Gate. Well, to be fair, I don't know how often Dragon Gate's in Tokyo. I don't know much about Dragon Gate, to be fair, but they never seem to be in Tokyo. Whereas like Stardom run like a Korakuen Hall show once a month. Which, to be fair, they're always good watches. I'd say you should watch them, but I know you fucking won't. So
at the time, I would watch it all.
I genuinely believe that. It's why I don't call you a cretin. So today, Garth, we're going to be talking about the NWA. I'm going to bring up some things about Stardom. WWE controversies. There's 3 of them, Garth.
I'm sure there'll be fucking more by the end of tonight.
Oh, we'll get into that, Garth. We have some. We're just going to dip into Impact because there's one thing in Impact I kind of love right now.
Tessa.
I'm not you. We have we're going to talk some video games, talk about some AEW and whatever else tickles my fancy. Garth, we're doing it live.
Yes, this is live off the cuff.
Uncooked, uncensored.
The day after Halloween, which does not give you license to put your fucking Christmas tree up.
It does not. There is holidays between now and December. Not in Britain. To be fair.
Fox night.
To be fair, that's being celebrated in this town tonight because we don't celebrate Guy Fawkes on Guy Fawkes in my town. We do it the Saturday before, no, the Friday and Saturday before. Yeah, so and literally, my town is like probably like not long. It's like maybe not 10 square miles. That's a bit small. Like 30 square miles, like at the most.
Yeah. And
there's like 5 or 6 different fireworks displays. It's pretty fucking nuts. Like, absolutely insane. What about where you are?
I love it.
Oh, then again, you're in Newcastle, so there's just shit blowing up all the time.
It's not that bad. No, there's normally one big one that we go to near the town centre.
Ooh, the big one.
So either might go to that.
I just had a funny image of you turning to your wife going, "Do you want the big boom boom?" They're like, "What? Fireworks? I mean fireworks."
Just look at us and just say, "Fuck off."
I sometimes wonder what like your wife or Rob's girlfriend thinks when they overhear. Just disappointment. Yeah, like but most who's overhearing me is my fucking brother, and like I don't give a fuck what he thinks. You two need
Considering I'm sitting here wearing the classic WWF winged.
Did that come in the post? Did it? You know what came? Right. You know what came in the post for me, Garth?
What's that?
My Progress sex robots will one day be capable of murder T-shirt.
Oh yeah. I must have looked super fucking cool wearing this today at the soft play with the little one.
Oh my!
All these people looking at us thinking, what the fuck is that?
Do you find I'm at an indie show in Edinburgh on Sunday. And I'm gonna wear. It's a family show, but I'm gonna wear that Sex Robots T-shirt.
I would do that shit.
To be fair, like we'll talk. That's another thing we're gonna talk about later. I'm gonna talk about it now actually, because Garth, this weekend is ICW's WrestleMania basically, except they're having it over 2 nights this year.
Really?
Yeah, because they normally have it in the Hydro, but we didn't. We barely drew like 1,200 people last year.
Right.
So they're now in a 1,200 venue, but like having it over 2 nights. Which, in fact, I think is a good way to do it.
I was just going to say it's fair enough. So is it just 2-hour shows or something?
No, it's longer than 2. No, literally, because I've been to some of these 2-hour ICW shows. They'd go about 3.5 hours, so you get your fucking money's worth.
Yeah.
And you know who's on one of the shows, Garth? I'm gutted I'm not going.
Is it?
You should know this, Garth, because I invited you up.
I know, but I can't remember.
It's Sammy Callahan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's facing BT Gunn. There's also Ravy Davey taking on Grado. There's Stevie Boy versus Joe Coffey. Did you see the Joe Coffey thing?
No.
So
what thing?
So they did a work shoot and people fucking fell for it.
That's good.
So ICW have this new show called Gonzo, and it's basically like it's a trainee show, an ICW trainee show. They hold it in their wrestling school. It's a bring your own beer event, which we need to go to one day, Garth. Just because it's bring your own beer. So anyway, so Joe Coffey jumped the railing during a Stevie Boy match. He was the ICW champion. They're facing at Fear and Loathing, and they tried to play it off like Joe Coffey was drunk and unwieldy, being annoyed at being kept off this Young Lion show.
I love stuff like that.
And no, but the thing is, people fell for it despite the fact the video that was put out is quite like we didn't work it quite well because it was very obvious worked punches. Which is weird because Joe Coffey normally works quite stiff.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't ask for it all, but yeah, that's back on, so that's a relatively hot angle. But anyway, so
is Joe Coffey not still signed to NXT?
No, yeah, but ICW basically ICW and Progress have good working relationships with WWE. So like they get less. Like, there's a ton of WWE UK talent on these shows. Like Ilya Dragunov is on there, Jordan Devlin's on there, Kenny Williams is on there. So
pretty good.
You say yeah for now. There's always that looming threat that somehow that WWE will just rip everyone from the UK scene, which is an actual concern. Like actually in Japan, so like NXT UK, NXT Japan has been like very heavily rumored in recent times.
Yeah.
And you know what? And Japanese companies are coming together to basically stop it.
Good.
So like that's partly why apparently WWE approached Stardom to buy them, and they were like nah, and then got bought by New Japan because it's like, well, at least we can stay who the fuck we are.
Yeah, yeah.
So literally, the Japanese scene is coming together to stop WWE, and I think that's kind of beautiful myself. That would be a great segue into what I want to talk about with Stardom, but no, we're going to talk about NWA first, Garth. Because they released NWA Powerrr, and it was weirdly out of nowhere. Like, I understand they probably built it up on other NWA shows, but no, before Powerrr, but nobody watched NWA.
No?
Like, it's weird, because it had that brief blip when Cody was champion where people cared, and then he lost it at the next show and people stopped caring.
Yeah. And I mean, then the next thing I saw was when Aldous was at All In.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then that was it.
Yeah,
never heard anything again.
That was basically it. Yeah. So, but now it's back. Aldous is champion still, and to be fair, for NWA, he's like if you drew an NWA champion.
Oh, he's perfect.
For the NWA, he's fucking perfect.
He's as old school, which is perfect.
The setting, Garth, is like old school studio wrestling. So it's like
fucking beautiful.
Old school studio wrestling, but like with the pace of like, well, not quite the pace of modern wrestling. It's not like a Will Ospreay match, but like a bit of a faster pace, better work rate.
Shorter matches.
Yeah, because it's a TV show. You're not gonna have, and then there will be big matches. For example, Tim Storm versus Aldous.
Yeah.
So like,
which is really good in that first episode.
I've
only seen the first episode.
I've seen the first two. The first 3 episodes. It's weird because it's a decent roster. It's not a roster I thought I'd be into, but like in the setting, I'm really into it. Like
it really works, and I like how it's obviously a very, very small crowd, but
yeah,
the way the room is and the way it's shot and the way
there are people who actually like NWA, so it's amazing. It looks different, and I think that's the biggest thing. And to stand out nowadays, you do need to look different. Like if they were just another company running like medium-sized venues, why the fuck would you watch them? Because they're not being funny. If you wanted like good work rate in medium-sized venues, on YouTube, you'd go watch MLW. Because like in terms of work, because like in terms of work rate, they have like they have signed La Parka, Jacob Fatu, Austin Aries is signed there. So like there'd be no point of NWA, but because it is literally like it's old NWA shows with modern wrestlers, and that's what it has to be. And to be fair,
and it's just such an absolute polar opposite of WWE.
And like it actually has me excited to see some matches. Like for example, eventually Eddie Kingston will step up, and that's going to be amazing.
James Storm is a huge deal on that level, on that secondary level.
Oh, and he's a great measuring stick, which for that mid card title, which is gonna be. I imagine they book it for younger talent to go for it, and he's a great measuring stick. Like they bring him into ICW and have him fight younger guys, and he always does them good. Like he fucking did a good match with Ray V Davey, and it's booked well. It's like I can't fault it really. Like as
even the commentary, the guy who's next to Cornette. Honestly, I keep.
Yeah, and
thinking again.
On the second,
Mike Tenay.
You know how the first week when Aldous won, and they were like, "Hey, Aldous' valet, who I've forgotten the fucking name of, are you doing fine?" And then Aldous just went, "She's fine."
She's fine.
Like that's such an old school thing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Aldous as a promo is great. Thing is, they sometimes come off as quite hacky, but also like in that southern wrestling way, not in the scripted way.
Yeah.
Like in the but you know who showed up in the second week, Gaff? Two people showed up in the second week who I marked out for. First of all, Aaron Stevens.
Oh yeah.
And he turned up and he was like,
Did he have the holy gimmick?
No, he was like, no, he's not doing. I'm a big star in Hollywood, and then like, no one, and he's making like Hollywood demands, like no one's allowed to look me in the eye. I will continue once you've been silent. It's great. And you know who else turned up? Trevor Murdoch.
Oh, I saw he was advertised on one of them.
Trevor Murdoch. I'm all in on NWA now, Garth. Trevor
as a singles competitor, not as a tag team.
Well, Lance Cade is dead.
And, obviously.
Here's the thing. You know, Trevor Murdoch to me. Are you familiar with the concept of a boy?
What do you mean?
Right, so like basically a wrestler who you love despite everything against him. So like they haven't been pushed in any serious way. They're not a good promo. They're not a good worker. They're not good at anything, but you still love them.
I've got about 4 or 5 of them from the 90s.
All right, so name them. Go ahead. What's your boy stable?
Boy stable.
This is another podcast. This is an OSW review thing. You'd love OSW review, by the way. We just review old wrestling shows and we put them to like video. You'd love it. I recommend it.
Papa Shango.
All right.
The model Rick Martel because he was never really.
Oh, these are some really good boys. You're naming some great boys.
Thanks. Trying to think what else. Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
No, Hacksaw was pushed. Come on.
I suppose he did that.
Hacksaw never fucking lost.
At one point.
No, he never lost. He literally never lost. He went like 3 years between losses on WWF pay-per-views, and they were by fucking count out.
And know who? And then he's just been mentioned before. Fucking Damien Sandow.
There we go. He is he's an amazing boy.
I used to fucking love his gimmick.
You know what's bad? Before he was because here's the thing with the because OSW makes up the rules of who can be a boy. With the exception of Jinder Mahal, Dolph Ziggler, Great Khali, and Jack Swagger, no world champions are allowed to be a boy. Which was so annoying because Kofi Kingston was a boy. And then this year happened, so I've lost a boy. Who else are my boys? So Trevor Murdoch, Lance Cade, obviously. But you're just gonna hate everything I name because it's early and mid to late 2000s. MVP, he's a boy.
I like MVP.
MVP's great. He's at the show I'm going to this weekend.
He was like Intercontinental champion, though, wasn't he?
He was US. Oh, US champions are fine. Well, it completely depends how badly we're booking. MVP was given a losing streak, so he's eligible as a boy. Who was the other? Oh, and we don't necessarily count Japan because Vance Archer slash Lance Archer, he's a boy.
Yeah.
And
I never really saw much.
And also the Dude Busters. Do you remember the Dude Busters? It was Trent Beretta and another guy, and it was amazing. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, NWA. Can't fault it. The only problem I have is the tag division's a tiny bit naff. Like, the tag champions are good. It's Bram and this other guy. And they're big bruisers, and it's fun. And we also have Eddie Kingston and Homicide, who are great.
I love how Eddie Kingston called him Bram.
Eddie Kingston is just a great fucking promo. Because he literally it's clear he doesn't rehearse what he's going to say.
Oh, yeah.
So
James Storm was good as well.
Oh,
when he said that there's people like you who just go and go and have fights for your mates.
Yeah.
So you're not tough.
The promos. Tim Storm's promo was going like the post package. Now I know I know nothing about Tim Storm, like nothing. But I was so emotionally invested. I'm like, oh come on.
Considering he's like 54 or something.
Yeah, he's the definition of a journeyman.
Absolutely, he looks amazing.
He does. Have you seen what Doug Williams looks like in the last year or so?
No.
Well, it's kind of like that. Doug Williams has he's retired now, but he got quite beefy.
He was always good though.
He had a run in Progress and it was great. Eddie Kingston actually currently has a run in Progress and it's great. So, he was teaming with LAX in Progress, and so you know how Kid Lycos had to retire.
Yeah.
So Eddie Kingston was like, okay, Chris Brooks, bring Jonathan Gresham and bring that other guy. I call him Glass because he breaks too easy.
Oh God, brutal.
Absolutely brutal. Like, and he's just he's a great promo, and also he works stiff. Like, it's very clear he's massive into. He wrestles like someone who watched videos of like Misawa and Kenta Kobashi and all these other 90s All Japan guys, but never properly learned how to do it, which I think is a pretty good style. So like,
probably watch a lot of the old like Mid-South stuff or the.
Oh, he's also he is I'm gonna give you a very smarky match recommendation right now, Garth. You should be used to it by now. Chikara, I think it's for season 11 finale. Him versus Claudio Castagnoli, better known as Cesaro. And it was like a proper territory match, like Eddie Kingston gets hung. Like proper territory match, and it's great. It's right up your fucking alley, mate. You'd love it. What I love
about the territories is it's like a sort of self-contained TV series.
Yeah.
Where that actor, inverted commas,
goes to different places.
Go and do another job somewhere else.
And then people get annoyed when he turns up somewhere else and is better than everyone. Like in Powerrr, the amount of NWA title reigns that don't count because they had to do some screw finish so Ric Flair wouldn't get stabbed is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I just like the whole thing, and honestly, I know as much as people fucking hate him, I just love the fact that Cornette's involved.
I like Cornette. I like Cornette in this role that he's in. I like Cornette. He
just doesn't care as well. Like you can tell he's just like.
But the thing is, he doesn't on air. He despite the fact you can tell when he doesn't like something, he doesn't bury it on air.
Oh yeah.
Which I think like
because as much as people don't admit it, he is still professional.
He is a professional. He's a massive cunt bugger.
He's also a bit of a bastard.
No, that's thing because you keep saying how much you're enjoying his Mon podcast. So I didn't listen to his podcast, but I did listen to a few of the clips, and so much of it is just him being mad that wrestling isn't how it was.
Yeah, you have to. The thing is, you have to fast forward it for half an hour anyway because he's talking shit.
Oh no, because I listened to his NXT UK takeover because I was like, because I know he likes Walter, which is one of few good opinions he holds nowadays, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what he thinks of a Walter Talabate match. And he was talking for like half an hour about shit. Like Dairy Queen was mentioned. And is there a podcast where he doesn't fucking mention Dairy Queen? Jesus fucking Christ.
You have to fast forward half an hour at least on every podcast.
Also, his co-host can fuck off.
I thought it was fucking Bully Ray.
No, it sounds like Bully. If it was Bully Ray, it'd be fine, but it's just this random fucking yank.
The first couple of times I honestly thought it was Bully Ray.
He's this random fucking yank, and he just comes in with A, bad opinions, and B, in the middle of a fucking rant, and I'm like, I'm here for the fucking rant, you prick. Go away.
I still think, I honestly do believe that, like, he still lives in the whole shoot world, where a lot of the stuff he says is how he feels, but I think he's turned it up to 11 to piss people off. I mean, it works because everyone talks about it. No,
that's the thing, but I don't want, because honestly, I don't like discuss. I like discussing Cornette with you because like we'll actually discuss what is being said. I don't like talking about Cornette in like inside the ropes fan community. Because like, and in the nicest, well, it's not nice at all. but like the amount of people in there who it doesn't sound like they actually watch wrestling. You know,
there's a lot of people who come in and go, he's right, and it's like, well, on what? And then they'll be like,
yeah, because
it's trying to be purposely edgy by saying everything he says is right. It's like, well, no, not it isn't.
He's quite sexist. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
like he skips.
But again, though, I think he uses his Twitter thing as like one long promo.
Very true. We're gonna go off Jim Cornette right now, Garth, because we could go on about him all day.
Oh yeah.
And like we probably will during the next time you're on a retro thing. But what we're going to talk.
This is kind of like that snowed in episode for Raw. We just having to make shit up as we go.
It is. Actually, have I ever told you about Snowgrass?
Oh yeah, you did.
It's amazing.
I thought it was actually genius.
For people who don't know, one day it was a progress show in Sheffield, and it was during a snowstorm. So they had to throw together a card. So we were like, this one. But it was basically, with the exception of the title matches, this one doesn't fucking count, alright? And they didn't rename it to Snowgrass on Demand, so it's annoying, so I can't remember what it is. But like, they just made it, I mean, like, they just got people from Newcastle, so like Primate randomly turned up, Gabriel Kidd, it was like basically half of what culture used at the time. It was great. Because what culture used were good. It's just they were always booked to lose to the Americans. Anyway, Garth, I need to talk about something from Stardom. Well, a couple of things from Stardom. First of all, you know who Session Moth Martina is, don't you?
Yes.
Do you know who Natsu Simuri is?
No.
Okay, so you know who Toriano is?
Yes.
Imagine Toriano bollocks. If Toriano... so imagine Toriano, like, bullshit.
Right.
If Toriano was A relatively attractive girl.
Okay.
B, a fucking train wreck. C, antagonized children. And D, was a sex pervert.
Fucking hell.
Literally, she has like a riding crop. Her and Martina get drunk before kayfabe drunk before matches. She does the Bronco Buster and keeps going up and down until her eyes are glazed over.
Nice.
It's just insane. It's all fun and games. Then she does it to the minor wrestlers on the Stardom roster. I'm like, oh man, that's just not on. Because anyway, I bring this up because Stardom have their tag league going on right now, and they do their tag league perfectly because they just integrate it into like regular cards instead of having it being the main focus. Mm-hmm. So like you might have a tag league match as a main event, but it's like it would be something that deserves the main event. So like the leaders of Queen's Quest versus the leaders of Stars. Again, this means nothing to you. I'm sorry. But there's some interesting pairings which I'm going to tell you about. First of all, Queen's Quest and Oredotai have crossed over. In New Japan terms, this is like a Bullet Club and Chaos crossed over.
All right.
Nice. So like it's Jamie Hayter and B Priestley. People don't like B Priestley.
I think she's fine.
She's really good.
Right.
That's right. She's improved so much, and that's why people go to Japan is to like improve.
Wasn't she
their champion? She's still their champion. That's why people don't. Because thing is, she was going up against this. I don't know because she was on Ring of Honor, so you might have seen her. This woman called Hana Kimura. Mm-hmm. And she's one of those people. She's like Naito, where she's more a character than a worker, although she is capable.
Yeah.
And people are going on about, oh, why didn't we put on Hannah? She's the best wrestler in the company. I'm like, is she? Fuck! You just think she's hot, mate. Right, that's the problem with a lot of Stardom fan bases, that they are perverts.
It's Japan, though, isn't it?
No, it's not even in Japan. I'm talking about Western fans. I'm talking about like people I talk to.
Like, that's what I mean. It's like, it's all Japanese women.
No,
so
that's
they know they can get their fucking kicks.
I get the feeling that some people do just watch Stardom for hot Japanese women.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sort of like, Pornhub is free, man. just go there. You know,
like less creepy hentai.
It's nothing like it. Right. So, Arisa Hoshiki and Tam Nakano are also teaming. Who like they're in the same stable, but okay. Arisa likes Tam, but Tam doesn't like Arisa.
Nice.
Because Arisa No, Tam really like you've heard of Mayo Iwatani, haven't you?
Yeah.
She was in Ring of Honor for a while, and so Tam she's because Stardom have a draft, but teams get changed around every year, and so Tam Nakano is loyal to the person who's leading them to a fault. So Arisa, Mayu, and I'm sorry, I am boring you. I'll stop in a minute. So Arisa, I never get to talk about this. Arisa, Mayu, and Tam are having their pre-match promo, and the whole time Tam's just behind going, "Please let me forever team with Mayu. Please let me forever team with Mayu. Please let me forever team with Mayu." And she's teaming with Arisa for fucking tag league. Also, Arisa versus Tam Nakano, one of the best Stardom matches of the year. Would be in my top 10, but then Jungle versus Arisa happened. Arisa's just great. She's for Kota Ibushi of Stardom. Absolutely amazing. One last thing. For Halloween, Stardom did a everyone wears a mask thing. So because there's one wrestler on Stardom who already wears a mask, so she's just wearing a slightly darker mask.
Yeah. I like that. I like when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, to be fair, New Japan, but people always dress up there, the Chaos teams dressed up as each other.
I saw that, yeah.
No, you saw that because I sent it to you and you were like, "What? Why should I care?" And I was like...
I saw that as something that... No, I saw there was a picture of... was there not someone taking the piss out of Naito as well?
It always happens. And I haven't watched the latest, because I don't watch the Road 2 shows for New Japan, otherwise I'd just not be able to watch anything else. But I might watch this one just to see the Halloween stuff. Also, it's not going to be as good as when Bullet Club dressed up as the cast of Aladdin, and both Kenny Omega and Marty Scurll shared a tender kiss, and it was lovely.
Beautiful.
Right, Garth, we have 3 WWE controversies to talk about. Do you want to talk about the corrupt government, the racism of a shit video game?
Let's talk about the trip to Saudi.
Okay.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
Right, so first of all, just to reiterate, they should not be in this deal to begin with.
No.
This is not a deal they should ever have made. They make a lot of money. But it doesn't...
People have said this is the best one yet, and it was quite enjoyable.
From the sounds of it, Garth, I haven't watched any of these Saudi shows, for the record. I have no fucking clue what the standard match quality is, other than what I see on Twitter.
I haven't seen it.
But I did see the clips on Botchamania from fucking Undertaker versus Goldberg, right?
That was fucking...
And I've seen what happened at last year's Crown Jewel, again through Botchamania. So it doesn't sound like it would be that hard. I saw people complaining because Cain Velasquez, the UFC guy, got jobbed, and I'm like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? He's very untrained.
And also, in the history of WWE, this will be forgotten.
Definitely.
Doesn't matter.
That's because the way they build these cards, it's like what WrestleMania used to be with a lot of mainstream involvement. So they'll bring back old guys, they brought back Flair and Hogan, which I'm surprised Garth didn't jump all over. Even Team Hogan, I know Team Hogan went over. I'm like, Jesus Christ, even in Teams Hogan won't let Flair get over. Well, so the Fiend also won, wasn't it? Yeah, the Fiend won. Yeah, because that's why Rob watched it. Because Rob was like, guys, Seth versus Bray is really good. I'm like, of course you fucking think that. Bray won. Look, we can talk about the show all we want. And we haven't seen it, so we can't really.
It's not the show that I'm...
Oh yeah, we'll go into that in a second. But I have to really reiterate, this is not a deal. So we get... they're making a grand total of $40 million a year. Which, one way I would forgive them if they use that, because high estimates say that it will cost $28 million to get every wrestler on the roster healthcare. Good healthcare. If they use the money for that, I might be forgiving. But they're not. It's just going to the execs. It's just going to Vince. It's just going to Paul. It's just going to fucking Kevin Dunn. And fucking, because they have 900. They make something like $900 million in profit a year. So they're running at a massive profit. There is absolutely no point in all the cutbacks they make, especially in fucking how they treat their workers.
Yep, exactly.
And I know what people are going to say. Don't like it, don't watch. I fucking don't. I see it all the time on Twitter. They're like, well, I bet you pay for the network. I don't. Like, when we do classic reviews, I find a pirated stream of the review. And you might call that scummy. I pay for independent wrestling. I refuse to give WWE money. I save out my wallet and I actually fucking am.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't watch it, so I don't pay for it. And
that's the thing. I watch. Well, I am a fan of NXT mostly because like Walter's there now and he's Bay, but I watch it and watch wrestling. Like, don't get me wrong, Garth knows what I'm. Garth knows me. I don't pirate companies who will actually be hurt from someone pirating.
Yeah.
Like, I will to use a film analogy, which is weird for me. I will pay for an on-demand stream of an indie film. I will not, but I have no problem going on to Putlock or whatever to watch Captain Marvel. That I already paid to see in the cinema. You know what I mean? Like, and we'll get into more how WWE treats their employees in the next topic. But Garth,
yes, tonight could be a very, very special episode of SmackDown.
I'm actually gonna watch SmackDown tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
I think this is going to be a spike.
You know what, Garth? How desperate are you to get to bed? Because we could do a live watch along.
I'm not staying up to watch that. as intrigued as I am.
Oh no, I am gonna watch at least for highlights to see what the fuck we do. Because Garth, you shared this in the chat earlier today. And oh my god, I got a message on the dating app. This never happens, yay. We're doing this live, folks. I shared it. A majority of people are trapped in Saudi Arabia. And I mean, like a majority of actual
talent.
Like not just a majority of people in the world. Like it's not like me, Garth, and the 60 people who apparently up to 60 people who listen to this podcast are there going, oh no, we're trapped inside. No, it's just like most of the talent, and it's sort of like apparently like what was the number? 20 people. No, 12 of 20 people. 12 of which are talent have flown back. To be fair, 12 is enough to do a SmackDown.
Yeah.
So maybe, but also, just no.
Depends who that is, though.
Yeah. To be fair, Glenn Joseph of Progress has said tonight's going to be special. I don't know if he's just being sarcastic or if they're sending over NXT UK guys, because the Progress lads.
Is this not just all a big massive work to get people to watch SmackDown?
No.
I don't know. It'd be fun though.
Because like I'm not being funny. Like the only source we really have for this is Meltzer, and people who follow Meltzer either have decided whether or not they watch SmackDown anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I might watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch the highlights just to see what the fuck we do. So Garth, second WWE controversy: racism. Yep. Race. So, Jordan Miles, otherwise known as ACH in Ring of Honor and New Japan and the American Indie, some AEW. I think he was in Defy. I don't actually know. PWG. Name an American Indie. He's probably worked there. That's how the American Indies work. And racism, Garth. So, how do I describe this shirt? Teefy is how I would describe.
I would describe it like they're taking their fucking piss and it's like a minstrel or something.
No, it is. That's what it fucking is. It's a fucking minstrel. And, like, it's clear things have happened behind his back. You know what I mean? Because, so, this shirt came out, and it's, like, his name in, like, arranged like teeth on a red lip on a black background. And apparently when it was showed to him, it was a white background, which it's very easy to see. It's a big difference, Gav. And, like, apparently it was to do with his character. Now, Garth, you don't watch much NXT. I do. He's been on NXT TV about maybe 10 times.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a character yet, other than, like, plucky little dude who flips. And apparently it was made black and more teethy to suit his character from emails that have been sent out. And Garth,
hate that shit.
Jesus Christ!
They've already done that with Apollo Crews.
It's so overtly racist that it
Yeah.
it physically sounds like a parody. It sounds like something we have made up. And to be honest, Garth, I wish I had the creativity to make up something so fucking stupid. Not stupid. So something so comically, like, even if it's an accident, one person must have been able to see this. Going, oh yeah, let's make the black guy's t-shirt more teethy. Jesus.
The fact that it went out on like a black t-shirt as well.
No, that's the thing. If this was on a white t-shirt, it would literally make a world of difference. I mean, it's a shit design to begin with.
Well,
but
what
like,
I read is that they'd originally presented it on
yeah,
a white
no, that's what
t-shirt.
happened when they showed it to Jordan. It was on a white t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's just, and
That's where we are though with WWE.
what's worse is
Still
that I'm not.
this fucking...
Look at how they booked every basically every Japanese person they've had who's not a cruiserweight have done the can't speak English thing,
and they've had the same music.
with the exception of Nakamura.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because Akira Tozawa has very weirdly non-Japanese music, and in WWE that throws me off.
That's
But
quite good, his song.
Fucking what else is there? Oh right, so we only got a black champion this year. Actually, he pointed this out. Actually, it's like, have you noticed how like all the actual sports have had a fair few black champions in the past 50 years, whereas the predetermined one hasn't.
If you look at sports like basketball, all of their top, well, I'd say the massive majority of their top legends and stuff are black.
Look, that's right. If you look at basically any sport, Garth, at the very least, there's a proportionate number of minority stars, like people of color, gay people, whatever. There's a proportionate number to like what the population may be. They may face scrutiny, but they're fucking there. In WWE, they're just not there half the time. And thing is, occasionally they will push someone of color, and it would be like,
they do it for their own gain.
It's not just that. They'll push someone's shit, and then
like Jinder. Oh shit, we've got a tour of India coming up. Let's just make Jinder champion.
That's that. Well, in my head, like, correct me if I'm wrong, the last person of colour before Kofi that got properly pushed was Lashley.
Yeah.
Which is sad because it's 10 years apart.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then before that was probably fucking
Junkyard.
No, or well, if you.
Well, no, proper. When I'm talking proper, I mean like in the world title picture. Thing is with Lashes, he wasn't. Lashley definitely wasn't ready.
No, and he was.
He was
good. They quickly dropped it as well.
He was as green as grass, and thing is, they literally only dropped it. But they'll do it. They'll push the guys, and then backstage, and you know this is the case. As much as this one dude on Twitter seems to think I'm full of conspiracy theories, they will, instead of going, "Oh, we pushed someone who can't work yet and can't cut a promo," because Bobby Lashley, even in TNA, didn't cut promos. He had like MVP or something do it for him, and then they'll blame it on they'll probably go, "Oh well, the world's not ready for a black superstar." Yeah, they fucking are. You're just pushing the wrong fucking people.
Exactly.
No, actually, to be fair, Mark Henry got a good push, but that
was like at the end of his career.
That was right at the end of his career as well, yeah. And that was 5 years after Lashley. So like, they don't push people of color enough.
Look how quickly Kofi's just been all but gone.
No, because with Kofi, they would not have pushed him if he didn't they'd have been stupid not to push him. That's basically the point they were at with Kofi. It's just, I hate it all, Garth. I hate WWE.
Yeah.
And I weep for the stars of WWE. Anyone who's a little bit different. Jesus Christ. Last WWE thing, Garth, and thank good fucking merciful God. Because you know what, Garth?
It's not really it's not really WWE.
It kind of is.
It's not their fault.
I think it's
This
WWE.
one.
No, because it's fair fault because WWE demand a game every year, and we don't need it.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you push developers to a burning point. And it's WWE 2K20. We understand a little late to the party, but me and Garth really like 2K19.
Brilliant.
In our recent one, we named it Top Wrestling Game, and we even said it has so much potential. And like a lot of the little things we seem to be doing with 2K20 were great. Like they were giving us more customization in universe mode. They were adding some bump of the night stuff, which I may not have used, but it's nice to have it there. Some representation from other brands. Like as like a BritRes fan, seeing like Mark Andrews, Tony Storm, Trent Seven in a WWE game was amazing. I can't take that away from them. The game's shit, Garth. I haven't played it. Like neither me or Garth have played it. We value the money we earn too much. But
You did have it pre-ordered.
I did. But that was when I assumed it was basically going to be 2K20 with Tony Storm, Garth.
Yeah.
No, 2K19 with Tony Storm. And to be fair, Tony Storm is amazing. It's not. How did they fuck it up? How, like, literally, I understand that Yuke's left. But they had the engine just keep... What you do when that happens, you keep the engine, add some wrestlers, add some moves, and Bob's your uncle. Marks will buy it. People will go, oh, it's not changed from last year. But people will still buy it.
And I looked into this and...
Oh, fuck, you mean we've actually done research into something for this podcast?
Oh, yeah. When it comes to games, I'm deadly serious. When Yuke decided that they didn't want to do it, and 2K says, well, because 2K what they want to do is they want to make it more like the NBA game. That's why they've got the big story mode and stuff.
The story mode is the only thing I'm remotely interested in.
Well, this time it was Yuke's were like, well, we want to do something different. We've been doing this for fucking 25 years. And then they couldn't come to an arrangement, so Yuke says, right, well, we're taking all of our assets.
Taking their ball and going home. Yuke's are working on a new wrestling game, aren't they?
Well, they've been quite sort of secretive about it.
Being fair, if it doesn't have a license attached, I don't see it doing well.
I'd be surprised if it doesn't.
The guys who own Yuke's own New Japan. I think Bushi Road owns Yuke's.
Yeah, they do.
They do. I was gonna double check that. If that's the case,
is it New Japan or is it All Japan?
I'm gonna double check this Yuke's.
But they took all the assets, so now WWE 2K20, made by 2K Games, is using assets from 2006 or 7. So basically, they have move sets from back then, and someone even put up a video jokingly saying, the Hardys are doing moves here that they haven't done for 10 years. Like animations that haven't been in the games for 10 years almost, and the graphics, holy mother. The thing is, you can see the difference between the you can see where 2K have actually got the proper scans done against the ones where they've had to make them.
Edge has been in every WWE game since like the SmackDown games. Since the SmackDown games.
But they don't have the models for them because Yuke's took them.
Io Shirai is unforgivable.
They do have new ones because obviously like Roman Reigns and Randy Orton look really fucking good.
Tony Storm looks like she's been...
Have you seen The Rock?
Oh, how do you fuck up? He's literally been in every How do you fuck up The Rock?
The Rock looks like the one off like the PS1.
He looks like he's been stung by bees.
It's fucking shocking. And like you see the videos on YouTube of all the glitches, and it's just like it's unforgivable. How can you release this game?
It is literally unforgivable. It is a sin. Like honestly, a class action lawsuit is deserved.
Well, Sony have been giving people refunds.
Good.
So if you bought the game digitally,
yeah,
they haven't even been questioning it. If people have been going to them for refunds, they've just been giving them.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Like, because even small things like have you seen this? They've changed the control scheme.
Yeah.
So now reverse isn't the shoulder button, Garth, is the perfect button for reversals.
pretty much.
It's literally because it's easy. It's what your hand's always there. You don't need to reach over to get it. So it is literally a split-second thing, and then it all comes down to your natural timing. Now it's on the triangle button. Why the fuck is it on the triangle button?
It's just, yeah, it's just. Hopefully, they just drop it and just fuck it, and like people go and get their refunds and stuff, and it's like, right, okay, we're fucked up. We're gonna concentrate on the next one now.
Because every time there's been a big WWE game fuck up, the next game did come back swinging. Like 2K15 was awful, 2K16 was great. 2K18 was a bit naff, but 2K19 turned out to be the best and probably most polished one in the series. So you know what? I have slight optimism, but also
you kind of feel sorry for them, but then you think what you should have done is just said, look, we're going to skip this year.
No,
just
but
skip it.
They don't lose much from not having a game out. Like, even if they wanted to make some revenue from games, why not put out like a WrestleFest remake?
The thing is, they've got their mobile games that they must be making a fortune on.
And also like literally if you put out like an arcadey 2D game, that'll probably make a mint. Like,
yeah,
you could do a few smaller titles throughout the year and people would be fine. I don't understand the logic.
Should have just says, look, we're not going to do one this year. We'll take a hit, and then that'll make people want to play the next one even more anyway.
No, exactly. Like this.
It's unfortunate.
It happened with Assassin's Creed. They had a bad game, they took a year out, and now it's back to where it was.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but you know.
Because honestly, 2K19,
like a teething.
I play mostly Pro, as you know, but like for WWE games, 2K19 will last me another year. You know, I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah.
So
I'll be surprised if Community Creations has dropped as quickly on this one as they usually are.
You know, they normally drop like a few months in, but like
I think people are just going to go back to this one straight away. Like 2K19.
Yeah. Up to see what Garth. What should people buy instead of 2K20?
Is a video game?
Just any video game. Like to be fair, that Jedi Order game is coming out soon.
Does look pretty cool.
No, that looks like Uncharted, but with lightsabers. It looks amazing.
I'm into that. If you want a horror game, speaking of Halloween just passed, Man of Medan is fucking genuinely terrifying.
I've never heard of that. What's it like?
It's a bit like, have you seen Until Dawn?
Yes.
It's the same people who did that.
Oh, okay. I still haven't played Until Dawn.
It's the first. It's the first of like a sort of trilogy.
Okay.
And it's set on a boat. It's like a World War II boat, but it's like, well, stuff happens on it, and then it goes to modern times, and then these people get sort of stranded on it, and as you are, and just loads of weird shit happens. But it's really jumpy. Yeah, I can't play it much. But Until Dawn was one of my favorite games, so
I haven't played it. I haven't played it yet. I really should, because it's always on sale.
If you like horror movies,
I don't know. I love horror games. It's on.
I'm sure it's on PS now.
It is on PS now. But I'm weird with horror games actually, Gaff, because I can play them, but I can't binge them.
No, I don't. I take my time.
Like the Resident Evil 2 remake. Have you played it? The Resi 2 remake?
Not the new ones now.
It's
played the old ones.
The remake of Resident Evil 2 is Garth, it's so good. Imagine so you've played a fair few Resident Evil. Have you played 4?
I've played them all, yeah.
Okay, so like imagine sort of the horror of the first 2 games.
Yeah. Mixed
with like the camera angle of 4, but like sort of not quite tanky, so it's like more like 6's controls, but like but with like 1's scarcity of resources, and like it's just like the perfect Resident Evil game, and it's great. I still haven't finished it.
That's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go back to the Resi 1 remake, because of the controls.
I don't like the tank controls. To be fair, I like the tank controls in Resident Evil 4.
It makes more sense.
Yeah, no, it's just the camera angle more than anything else. I can't go to the old Resi game, but it's weird though, because like my favorite game ever is Last of Us, and that's technically a horror game.
Yeah, I suppose I.
Like, well, it's more like
a sort of zombie.
it's more survival horror. Like horror and survival horror are completely different to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm frightened because I'm scared of what will happen to my character. I'm not frightened because I'm frightened.
Oh, you need to play Until Dawn because there's so many different outcomes.
I know I do, but also, mate, the amount of time I'm logging in Fire Pro. No, seriously, I've crossed the 800-hour mark.
So just a couple of hours out of that. A couple of hours on Until Dawn every now and then.
No, here's the thing. Steam has updated to now tell you how often you've played in the last 2 weeks. I've played 23 hours in the last 2 weeks.
Unbelievable.
I know. I am actually disgusted with myself. It's sort of like how my iPad would send me notifications of how long I spend on things, and I'd be spending like 3-4 hours a day on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, I need to turn this the fuck off because you're making me feel bad about myself.
Yeah.
But I can't turn it off on Steam. I have to confront how often I'm playing Fire Pro.
I'm the video games hoarder, and I don't get anywhere near that.
You're for video games harder, but first of all, you haven't played half the games you own.
I know. I never will either.
I know, because you have too fucking many. And it's not even like a nostalgia thing. You're just picking them up for no reason.
It's a disease.
It is fucking.
Like, some people are addicted to drinking and gambling. I'm addicted to playing video games. Of which I bought another couple the other day for my Wii U. So yeah.
Of course. Well, but we're going to talk about that. How are you enjoying your Wii U?
Loving it. It's because it's been so long since I've actually owned a Nintendo.
Yeah, you don't really own Nintendo consoles. To be fair, I'm pretty.
I do, but I don't. I mean, I've still got me GameCube. I've still got me DS and stuff, but I rarely ever touch them. But since getting the Wii U, and because like Benjamin likes it.
What's your favourite games ever?
Which what?
What's your favourite game on it so far?
So far?
Yeah.
Aside from the Mario stuff.
Have you played Mario Maker?
I haven't put that one there.
You should. If you have it, play it. It is literally just it's unlimited Mario levels. So.
Affordable Space.
Affordable Space Adventure. That's decent.
Yeah.
That's a
and
decent
also
game.
Unwritten Tales 2.
You went surprisingly offbeat. I expected you to say like a Mario game or.
Yeah, I mean, I like them too. Yeah.
I recommend. Do you like puzzle platformers?
Yeah.
Try out Mighty Switch Force.
I think I've got that.
Oh, it's great. Try it out. Anyway, we've been off wrestling a bit too long now.
Yes.
Impact, Garth. Now.
Yes, I've been. Haven't really watched it. Haven't had time.
I know, but there's one thing
I really want to, and I even missed Bound for Glory.
Do you remember? Did you see the fucking production fuck ups?
No.
Bound for Glory. Oh, they put Cody Deaner's name over Joey Ryan.
Wow.
And also, they misspelled Marufuji.
I saw that.
Marufuji. Mate, they booked him. Several people saw that and went, yeah, that's fine. They also...
They even did.
Wait, what's worse is that he has a first name. They didn't even make an attempt at his first name. His name is Narumochi Marufuji. You wouldn't just have Alexander Rusev come out as Rusev. Bad example.
Yeah.
How did we not even talk about the Lashley Rusev? We're not going to. We're going to be positive. So remember how when RVD came back with his current gimmick, and we were like, "How the fuck isn't this heel?"
Yeah,
he's heel now, and it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. So like his latest promo, he was in a hot tub with his wife and this other woman, both of them topless. And he was going on about, "Do you think there'd be Kenny Omega without me? No. Back in my day, the shit I was doing was original. You're just RVD wannabes." And I'm like, yes, this is amazing heel work, and I love it. Have you seen? Because RVD got fully divorced recently, and he's been on his divorce tour where he's just fucking banging over women he can. And like, I'm not gonna lie, the feminist in me is just sort of like, "Oh no, Rob, what the fuck are you doing?" But like, that part of my lad. But I know the man part of my brain is sort of like, mate, fucking this is amazing. And it's literally my favourite thing in wrestling right now.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
No, that's because now RVD's gimmick is literally just what you wanted RVD's gimmick to be back at fucking back at Slammiversary. So it's great, and also Tessa looks like she'll be facing because Callahan's champion now, and it looks like Tessa will be fighting him, which I'm fine with because I've seen their Bound for Glory match now. No, their Slammiversary match now, and it was really good.
Yeah, it's good.
I wouldn't say it's not like a match of the year or anything, but it's pretty fucking brutal.
No, it was.
I think the issue with a lot of the Tessa stuff is that she's been hanging about with the ECW fuckers, and it's sort of like, I don't want Tessa Blanchard to be teaming with fucking Tommy Dreamer. Exactly, that was who I was going to say. Because at least for Sandman, there's a meme value in the Sandman.
They even brought up fucking Tommy Dreamer got brought up on somebody. I think it was Jericho's podcast. He said he must be the most fucking booked guy on the whole of the wrestling scene at the minute.
Where has he not been booked in the last year? He's even shown up in like WWE, I'm pretty sure. Seriously, who's not booked? How the fuck does he keep getting booked?
It's whenever anyone rolls into fucking New York, he's like, I'll come along.
It's fucking give me a ham sandwich and I'll turn it. I saw him getting interviewed and he was like, in the 90s, I was for 5 seconds a millionaire. And I'm like, how are you not a millionaire now? You're working like a million different jobs. You're working more jobs. Like fucking Bueller McGillicuddy fucking.
Probably just like because he's like renowned as such a nice guy.
He's apparently a very lovely guy. He's a shit wrestler.
Oh,
but you know what though? Tommy Dreamer used to be one of my favorites back in WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008.
Yeah.
Because he could set the table on fire, and that was a desirable quality back then. Oh my lord, how does he keep? It's unbelievable. Like, and he's never going to be pushed, is he?
Oh no, he's just there to have a bit of laugh.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't take anyone's spot. But like, he hasn't been waterboarded by Killer Cross, so Sandman's still better.
There's one place he hasn't been yet.
Where?
AEW.
Yeah, he was. He was in the he was on the Double or Nothing card. He was in the Battle Royal.
He's in Double or Nothing. He hasn't been on Dynamite yet.
No, he hasn't been on Dynamite. No, he should turn up on Dynamite. No, don't make this a fucking self-fulfilling prophecy.
I was trying to make a segue.
Right, we still haven't talked about the Chikara game.
Oh yeah.
Stop jumping ahead in the fucking format. I understand you don't have a copy, but that's besides.
There aren't any formats here. This is just off the cuff winger.
I do have a list, Garth. To be fair, and oh, thank God, I clicked on the audio software because I had a weird suspicion that I wasn't recording, but I am, so we're fine.
The Chikara thing is, I've followed it all the way through its sort of.
And you haven't bought it yet.
And I don't own it yet. No, it's only like 2 dudes who made it.
Yeah, and it's
2 or 3 guys.
It's like a tenner.
It's took them 4 years or something.
Because it's 2 guys, but
yeah. Well, originally it wasn't the Chikara.
No, like Action Arcade Wrestling was just sort of its own thing. Then Chikara sort of like.
I mean, the old Action Arcade was on the Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
And I owned it, and it was alright.
No, that's what I'll say about. This is a game you'll have a lot of fun with if you're playing with your friends.
Yeah.
But like as is, it's playing with you because it has a quite robust creative thing. So like, you have really good rings, you have really good wrestlers. You know, decent facsimile of their movesets are in there. But at the end of the day, it's a trashy arcade game like a WrestleFest or a WWF Superstars, which. That did make it onto our top 10 list, so like we do enjoy that, but you will sort of need mates who also have it to get any enjoy.
And it's gonna need sort of, because at the minute it's mainly just sort of exhibitions and.
Yeah, it does need a bit more content. There needs, well, to be fair, again, it's worth a tenner alone if you have friends to play it with, but like I got bored pretty. To be honest, Gaff, I feel really bad, but like I've been really skint this month, so I played like 90 minutes of it, and then like a week later realised I probably wasn't gonna use it again and got a refund. Because
fair enough.
I don't know. Honestly, if you had it and we like played it for like an hour or so before and after we recorded, I'd definitely keep it.
Yeah.
But as it is, just sort of, nah. I'll pick it.
They've already said once they've sort of built it some more, they'll be putting it onto the consoles. So. Yeah,
but like, I don't want to. No offense, Garth, I don't want to get PS Plus just to play a game with you once in a blue moon when you get time.
Let's hope it doesn't turn out to be 5-star wrestling. Because that game was fucking dog shit.
I don't know why you bought it. You knew it was going to be bullshit.
I think I bought it was just like £3.
I know someone who bought it up a PS3. Hated it.
That's what I've got on PC.
No, but then the fucking sequel came out on PS4 and he fucking bought it again. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I didn't even know it was out on the PS4.
Oh, it's not. It's a separate game. It's like 5-star wrestling Nemesis or something, and it's just a shit.
Wow.
So, like, big no. Although Fire Pro DLC just came out, Garth. It was 15 quid.
Who's on that?
No wrestlers.
Huh?
15 quid. You get the ability to create an entrance.
Huh?
And also 3 new arenas.
For £15.
In my Garth, I could go into how much I hate the practice because it wasn't even in the season pass, which to be fair I don't own. I could go into how much I hate the practice, but here's the thing: I bought it, and
you are like the people who go out and spend, I don't know, X amount on all the other add-on shit, and then
here's the thing, I'm not complaining. Because you've seen how much time I put into Fire Pro. I'm getting fucking 15 quid's worth of use out of those arenas. Because to be fair, they're fucking great arenas. There's a gymnasium, so now I can actually recreate an indie show. Amazing. There's an outdoor arena, like a proper outdoor arena. It's great. And also there's a WrestleMania set.
Jesus.
No, it's great. I love
WrestleMania.
No, yeah, like it has the WrestleMania 30 for sort of New Orleans thing going on.
Oh.
It's great. I love it. And also to that, there's added part. And you know what's weird? So the Stardom DLC came out, which came with like 15 Stardom wrestlers. And they didn't have the belts in it initially, which is weird because it's literally just like a PNG. So they've only now just added the belts for the Stardom stuff.
See, to me, that's just fucking lazy.
That is pretty. Do you think apparently they've had like a change in dev teams? So.
And again, if fucking WWE 2K pulled that shit, people would be going absolutely light.
I think there's a difference here though, and like, it's a cheaper game to begin with.
It fucking wasn't on the PS4.
Right, fucking.
I bought the brother.
Being fair, that comes with the New Japan DLC.
Mine didn't.
No, it comes with fucking the original New Japan DLC.
Which was that?
With like Okada, Tanahashi, or like the original one.
Oh yeah, it came with them, but nothing else. And if I wanted to buy anything else, it was another like 30 quid or something.
Yeah, it's like 40 quid for the season pass. I'm not gonna like, but I think I'm more forgiving because I just buy the DLC as it goes. So it's like 15 quid every few months. And
every few weeks.
If it was every few weeks, I would be actually complaining. But like, when I think about like most of the DLC is pretty good. Like the Junior DLC gives you a bunch of wrestlers and a story mode for a tenner.
I suppose if you're getting mileage out of it.
Yeah, and also the promoter mode that's worth 15 quid in my opinion. Fun stuff. You get some weird things going on in promoter mode. For example, in the one I'm running right now, do you know who Spike Trevay is?
Nope.
He's a random British indie guy, and he somehow ended up being my top star.
Nice one.
To be fair, it's not the weirdest top star I had. Who the fuck was it? It was Cassius Ono, but then again, that's someone I'd actually push. Who's the really weird one? Oh, fucking Vicky Guerrero ended up being my biggest star.
Fucking
no one could beat her. I sent her on a training expedition for a year. She comes back and she's suddenly fucking God. And I'm like, no one can stop her. She was literally Goldberging my roster. Like, it was scary.
Goldberging.
She was. She beat fucking Matt Riddle, and you know the trouble I've had with Matt Riddle and Fire Pro. She beat him in like a minute. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Jesus.
You're meant to be my jobber.
Or a general manager.
That's the one thing I don't like about promoter mode. It is restrictive. You can't have like valets in promoter mode.
Right.
So it's a tiny bit restrictive in that sense, but you know, I make it work. I just sort of like the fact that they have the money side of it. Well, not the money, but like you actually have to build. You only have 6 guys to begin with. You actually have to build your roster, which is what I enjoy about it. Right, so I'm gonna nip Fire Pro in the bud.
Yeah.
Because we know what happened last time we talked about Fire Pro. So what we're gonna talk about, Garth?
Yes. All Elite Wrestling.
Imagine if I had something else. I was really hoping to think of something else. But AEW vs. Garth. We're not gonna go week by week because Jesus fuck. But
No.
what we're gonna do? We're gonna. Have you seen this week's, by the way?
Have I?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about up to current week, some pros, some cons. Gonna talk about a bit of the reaction we've seen because there's this one fucking dude on Twitter and Garth will know this because I keep fucking arguing with him.
And it's not all fucking rosy either, despite what some people think.
Yeah, no,
I
there is.
have a lot of issues with it.
I do have issues with it, and that seems to be a problem. I'm gonna start. I'll actually start right now with the discourse surrounding AEW because there seems to be 2 camps, Garth. If you like, for one camp where it's like, if you like AEW, then you are just an anti-Fed fanboy.
Yeah.
Whose opinion doesn't matter, or if you have any criticism at all, and I'll be honest, a lot of the criticism I have don't actually affect my enjoyment of the product so much. I still watch it every week. But they'll go, well, you're obviously just a WWE fanboy, which is weird because like me and Garth sort of fall in the middle, where we just want a good wrestling product. If
WWE enjoy what I'm watching.
If WWE was putting out a good wrestling product, we would watch it.
Exactly.
And like we do have different opinions on what makes good wrestling. I mean, I'm a Joshi fan and Garth isn't, and I couldn't think of like the opposite of a Joshi fan. Something like he isn't.
Traditionalist.
You're not. Fuck off.
Well, not even that.
You're a fucking Sami Callihan fan. You're not. And again, he's very territorial. It's Sami Callihan.
He's carny as fuck.
He is carny. He is carny as fuck. I saw a video of him and Dave Meltzer talking, and it was lovely because they're obviously just very like it was him, Dave Meltzer, Ricochet, and Chris Hero, and it's just obvious how much they love wrestling. It was really adorable. And that's unless that's what me and Gaff thought. We just want a good wrestling product. So let's start with the discourse. This one dude, I'm gonna put it up right fucking now. Jesus fuck. Josh of the fucking Thingy and Josh podcast, fucking host of @Jobbing with Josh, who, by the way, has less followers than us. And we're following him. Why the fuck are we following him? Why do we follow these? Rob. Anyway, so fucker, he keeps praising WWE for no fucking reason, right? For example, the Lacey Evans and Natalia match was on at Crown Jewel. That was an obvious PR thing.
Damn right.
And it's sort of like right thing for wrong reasons, and that's what I said. And he's sort of like, "Oh, why are you trying to downplay this massive thing?" I'm like, because fucking, I'm not trying to downplay the thing. I'm just, or like, for example, Kylie Ray left wrestling for a wee bit for personal reasons, which haven't been disclosed because it's none of our fucking business. And Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer clearly know what this is, but refuse to say what it is. Because they have this thing, I don't know, we obviously don't have it. It's called journalistic integrity. And
we have none.
Yeah, because we don't have any fucking exclusives. Because let's be honest, if we got an exclusive, we'd run to the fucking hills with that. Fucking the amount we milked that Simon Miller. We teased that for a fucking month. But anyway. Fucking, so he was like, but talking about Roman Reigns' cancer was fine. I'm like, that's very different. Because Roman Reigns' cancer was something Roman Reigns himself announced.
Yeah.
And then all that happened was Dave Meltzer talked about it, and he was like, well, why isn't he talking about the Kylie Ray thing? It's like, because she's clearly asked him not to. And he respects people's privacy.
Well, that's it. It's like,
It's telling it. I'm like, oh, they're clearly just telling they're just clearly showing an AEW bias. I'm like, there's arguments to be made for the AEW bias. For example, if we gave the fucking ladder match at Double or Nothing 5.5 stars.
Mhm.
Now, like, I think that could be a decent example of AEW bias because I don't think it's 5.5 stars. I think there were much better matches that weekend. But here's the thing: it's his fucking opinion, and I know it's just people. It's a very toxic thing around AEW.
it's because like you say, like there were those who were so against it from the off because it's either because they feel like the beloved WWE's
Under
threatened,
attack.
or they're jealous that their favorite indie fed hasn't got this opportunity to show its.
I was slightly annoyed at the beginning, Garth, because it took Kenny Omega from New Japan.
Yeah, but he was leaving anyway.
No, that's the thing. It has since come out that the Elite were very unhappy with the management of New Japan. So, yeah fine. But like,
and I think with when both the Young Bucks had said that they'd always, regardless of what was going to happen, they'd always set this time to come back for families and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
but
it just so happens that we've created the biggest thing to happen in wrestling all year. But
that's more than anything, it's created the buzz again. I honestly don't think that NWA would have come along.
no, but like that wouldn't. There wouldn't be as much of an appetite for change, for something different, if a big different came along. That's right, because WWE fans will listen to the WCW documentary where like actual wrestlers go, oh, it's better when there's more things around them. They'll go, yeah, it is, but they seem to only want it at like the TNA level, where like people could possibly make a decent living if they're fucking lucky. Whereas
as
now,
long as you don't affect or threaten this behemoth,
but now,
which it's not. It doesn't. It's not going to threaten it. Nothing's going to threaten WWE ever.
it might push them to be less shitty, and that's it.
Which is a good thing, but
it's
never ever going to knock them off their perch.
No, it's not. Like, they'll always be there. Like, this whole talk about WWE might go under. They were going to have to downsize. They weren't going to fucking go under. They posted one loss in 50 years.
And then they've just made a fucking £2 billion deal.
No, exactly.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're fucking not going anywhere.
But I think, as a whole, AEW's...
Let's start. Let's do what we're going to end this one positive. So let's start with some cons. And
right.
I have a couple. I'm sure you have a couple. I'll let you name one first.
Story. The actual storytelling's quite poor so far. As in,
they're going.
What the fuck is going on half the time?
They're going for a fairly sports-like presentation.
I like that, and I do like the wins losses thing, and I like the fact they're using draws to actual dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But it's the why is he doing this, and I hate that whole there's no heels and faces. There's got to be.
Oh, okay. So like
The story to work.
The Cody and Jericho storyline, that's pretty fucking good. I'm enjoying it.
That's really good. But then you've got
what the fuck even is going on with Hangman and Pac? That's literally just thrown together.
The whole again. It's not my bag, and I get what the AEW are doing is they're sort of aiming for a wide variety of things. It's like a variety show because you got the stupid shit with
Darby and Havoc,
Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends and all that sort
of
shit.
I do quite because it's a sideshow. It's like Shark Boy.
It. Like I can take it for what it is and I can skip it, and I skipped it.
That's the thing. I really enjoy Orange Cassidy. Like I
see. I'm on Cornette's side with that. I'm not on his side where he's like, why is he fucking working? But I'm on his side where it's beyond believable, like way beyond that I can ever believe that this guy can do any damage.
But it's a comedy sideshow, and to be fair, but I think it's decently like because he uses it as a distraction. The opponents play along, and then in their hubris they get dropped. They get actually hurt.
That's why I just skip it. It doesn't mean anything.
He is literally like he's the most undercard of undercard people.
That the Best Friends stuff is there as relief.
No, that's the thing. If that Best Friends can be really good in actual situations, but if like Orange Cassidy was being booked in a title match, I'd absolutely agree with you.
It just doesn't like, and like I say, it doesn't really affect anything if you don't watch it, or if you get a kick out of it. Fair enough. So,
you know what?
There to entertain.
You know what I'm not quite enjoying, Garth, is, and I said this going into, but we had to stop this. There's a lot of hardcore bollocks for hardcore bollocks' sake. Like,
it's not so much that. No, it's
not.
more,
Janela and Omega on Dark had it. Like, Darby Allin still does it. Jimmy Havoc still does it. And like, we don't need to be doing this every time. And like, there's a lot of that where they're going too much up for the weekly show. For example, Hangman does his moonsault to the outside every show, and it's sort of like, that should be something like, maybe do a moonsault, but like to the outside, that should be a pay-per-view.
When I was watching it today, the one thing that struck us, and it was like, this is Hangman Page's finishing move, and he cannot hit from anywhere else but the ring. It's stupid to shit finish.
What, the bunk shot lariat? Being fair, the dead eye. The dead eye is his finishing. The bunk shot is the. To be fair, it's a good fucking lariat.
He's finishing matches with it though.
No, he's finishing matches, but that's so he doesn't need to use. That makes the dead eye more deadly.
I suppose, but I just think it's a shit move. Honestly,
that's the thing. I'm a sucker for a stiff lariat. Obviously,
I like the lariat, and I like that, and I like.
Maybe if he just did it as a lariat, but maybe he's a bit too small.
Yeah. But I mean, there are some things that I just like. Again, watching the it's massively and highly obvious when people aren't on the same level as somebody like Kenny Omega, because you can see them waiting for the next beat. It fucking takes me so far out of it.
It's not fair to compare people to Kenny Omega, mate.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, when you've got somebody like, even somebody like, say, SCU and one of the other teams, the work and it flows, and then you'll get somebody.
You're talking about Private Party. I think what you need to remember about Private Party there is they're very green. They're still quite new to the business.
No, not them. It was the Angelico thingy and.
Oh, Angelico and Evans being completely.
They're fucking terrible.
And Helico's good. And Helico can be really good. Evans is a spot monkey.
Like, I just fucking. That's what I feared going into AEW to begin with, was spot fest, and it is very.
The tag division is very spot festy,
spot heavy.
But here's the thing: that does bring people in on a weekly show. I think that's fine because it brings people in. Like my brother, who hasn't watched wrestling since like 2007, was like, "Do you know who the Private Party are?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Like, what? It's like, I saw that match with like these guys called the Young Bucks on ITV the other night, and it was really good. I'm like, "Oh, cool."
I mean, like, these are like minor niggles.
Oh, this is us nitpicking as like hardcore wrestling fans.
Story is the biggest thing, and to be fair, my favorite thing on it at the minute now is John Moxley.
No,
because he is fucking. He is getting. Well, he's not because he's never ever going to. But he is fucking Austin.
The story. A lot of the stories, like just for the main event stuff, is actually like, for example,
Jericho is with fucking is.
Okay, so we'll build up to the main event with it, with like Jericho and Cody, but we'll start with the Moxley and Kenny feud. What I do enjoy is that they're beating people that the other one has already beaten, or the other one has failed to beat, just to prove it was good.
And I just love Moxley just coming in, giving someone a DDT, and then shooting a promo, and then saying "fuck you."
That was actually okay. So the week before, this week, after his match with Pac went to a draw,
honestly, when he did that with the ref,
yeah,
I went yes.
He was like going back, going time limits. What the fuck is up with these fucking time limits? Which is weird because it was just in the G. Anyway, runs to the back.
Do you know what I love as well? And I know this is like, and I've criticised the crowd in the past, but I love the crowd actually play along.
Yeah.
So they will boo the bad guys, regardless of.
No, that's the thing. We're not being smarky cunts. They're booing the
good. You can see them. I mean, it showed you the other day, and it was who was it? We're booing somebody, but a lot of people in the crowd were laughing.
No, I think it was Peter Avalon, probably.
Yeah,
but
they were smiling, but they were booing him because that's what you do.
That's what you do. Yeah, it's a lot. It's like what me and Rob praised the Progress crowd for in the last review. But so Moxley goes backstage, goes to Tony Khan, and Tony's like, I can't sanction this match. Like, you're going to kill Kenny Omega. I can't sanction this.
And you can see what he's trying to say. He's like, we're on TV now.
Yeah. Calm the fuck down. And he's like, what the fuck? No, I'm not going to calm the fuck down. Who the fuck do you think you are? And then, like, for next week, obviously, like, in kayfabe, not booked, Peter Avalon just comes out, starts cutting a promo, and then Moxley just comes through the crowd, gives him a fucking paradigm shift, and it's like, just cuts the shootiest of
It was
what.
such a good.
And he was just like, oh, I'm in sanctuary, I've been told my whole fucking life. And it's like, he managed to do this without mentioning WWE or alluding to WWE once.
But
it would have been so... No, that's the thing. It would have been so easy for him to do that. He could just go, my former employees didn't say...
Yeah.
Like, and that would have been so easy to do. But he didn't. And that's the thing.
That's definitely one thing that they need to get away from.
That's the thing. They don't do that many... They'll have, like... Jericho will mention it offhand in a promo.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like... Basically, Cody had his big thing at Double or Nothing. He'll sometimes take a jibe on Twitter. That's it. And that's the thing. WWE directly mention AEW on their TV. Seth Rollins has said that AEW is directly taking food off his fucking table.
And he says like they're the B show or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. WWE have mentioned AEW more. You know what it's like, Garth? It's like with the Gallagher brothers, where Liam will talk about Noel every fucking opportunity. Whereas Noel will only talk about Liam when Noel is Noel will only talk about Liam. Well, yeah, but like Noel will only talk about Liam when someone else brings up Liam.
Yeah,
it's sort of like that. Where AEW, with the exception of Jericho, will only bring up WWE really when it's mentioned to them.
To be fair, I think the commentary do good, like especially Schiavone, where he will actually mention them.
Shivani, but Shivani won't bury them. Shivani will mention it's like
it's normally in the sense of like former WWE champion.
No, that's a good thing. It's good to acknowledge that there's other companies and that like in this sports-based company what they've achieved in other companies matter. Like with one exception, they should never mention Lucha Underground because that's just a weird. That's like an alternative dimension, but yeah, like mention. Like they should mention Ring of Honor, they should mention Impact, they should mention all these things.
WCW always mentioned that, and I just think overall, I mean, I go back to it every week, so I'm enjoying it.
No, exactly. No, that's what we're mentioning is sort of like these are things we want improved, but really they're not destroying the product. And what we need to remember is this is a very new product.
Yeah, that's it. And like, listen to like the Jericho stuff and that. Some of the people aren't even from the wrestling business.
No, exactly. Like Tony Khan, he owned a baseball team, didn't he? Or no, it was for Jaguars.
Jacksonville
Yeah.
Jaguars.
And also Fulham. Really? Wow. Okay. Oh, I literally thought like for some reason Fulham had an American football team.
They probably do actually.
London. But. There's so much good. Like Jericho's, we need to talk about. We do need to talk about.
I'm just gonna say I'm genuinely looking forward to that match.
Yeah, with Jericho and Cody. That's the best built match. I wasn't big on it, but now I am. And like they're teasing it going an hour, and you know what? I'm somewhat okay with that. They seem like
last week was fucking brilliant. Jericho came up, bought his tickets.
Yeah. Jericho. So first of all, that promo, oofed. That one from like 2 or 3 weeks ago, oofed. And his stable is perfect.
And I loved it where Cody got the jacket wrapped around his hand and smashed the window to get to them. Jericho's stable is perfect.
Oh yeah. We were talking about Jericho's never had a stable. We were talking about that, and it's so weird to us. Yeah. He's done literally everything else. But like, you have the young gun in Sammy Guevara, who like is being portrayed as a hothead. He has a really bad win-loss record, but they portray it as like he's a hothead. He keeps getting.
And he's also been put over massive. Like, he's not exactly winning everything, but he's in all these big matches.
He hasn't had a singles win yet. Yeah. But he's going up against like Hangman and Cody and people like that, and it's sort of like, of course he's going to lose. He's 20. He's my age. Who else? So Santana and Ortiz. You're not massive on their name, but really, I don't really care.
I mean, I don't care. I think it's just because I'm so used to LAX.
It is like in a few weeks. It's like when someone debuts with a new name in NXT.
Yeah.
It's like in a few weeks you'll like Trevor Lee. Who's that? I'm all about this Cameron Grimes. Who, by the way, keeps winning matches by accident is amazing. He keeps like going into matches that should be squash matches against people who are in big feuds, and then keeps winning through interference. It's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to like because what I'm enjoying is they're holding off on. I keep calling him Swagger.
Hager.
Hager.
Yeah, he hasn't wrestled yet.
Holding off on him, and you can tell. I can see he's going to end up having a match with Dustin. I think.
That would be too fair. Dustin's arm's broken now, isn't it? Well,
yeah.
I don't know how kayfabe that is.
Well, they did actually leave a fucking massive dent in the car. You see that?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. To be fair, I love Dustin.
Oh yeah.
I love like the veteran. He has the most veteran vibe because he's probably the biggest veteran there. But I love he has such a unique vibe about him. I wish he was in a tiny bit of a more prominent position. Although he should definitely team with Sonny Kiss. Did you see that photo?
Yeah.
It looks so. They're such an aesthetically pleasing tag team.
It's like they've got the perfect garb as well.
Do you what? You know what I think is one of the more underrated aspects of AEW? The Joshis. Now, hear me out. Don't just call me a fucking joke. Right. So
this week's match was good with
Shida.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Last week's wasn't great.
Okay,
it obviously wasn't a Joshi, so it was B Priestley and not B Priestley.
Rebecca, Penelope Ford.
Yeah, it was all right.
Here's the thing. When it's Joshi and Joshi, it's a different dynamic. Like, for example, the Riho Shida match from All Out, or the Joshi 6-man from Double or Nothing, and it's a style. And it is like the cruiserweights in WCW because there's very little things you can do for the to be like the different side style that we have going on.
Yeah.
So like, if this is the closest we can do, I think it's a stroke of genius because like honestly, Joshi wrestlers are probably the best women's wrestlers in the world. To say Tessa or slap you. I just think it's cool, and also Joshis have really cool outfits. Like Shida's outfit, so fucking cool. Riho, not so much. She looks like my niece, and it's well, not actually, because my niece isn't a little Japanese girl. I'd have questions. But
what I like about it is, as a whole in general, AEW is they don't have a massive roster, but they don't feel the need to have to put everybody on every week.
No, and like if people aren't on, they'll probably be on Dark, so you're not going to go a week missing someone.
Like you had Darby Allin in a match with the champion, and then he wasn't on next week, which is good because it means next time he comes along.
No, exactly. Or like Kenny Omega hasn't even been on every week. He was on Dark on one of the weeks.
He keeps losing as well.
He does keep losing. That's one of my cons is Kenny Omega hasn't had a Kenny Omega match yet. Like he hasn't had that Kenny Omega barnstormer. Like,
that's going to be kept for pay-per-views, isn't it?
No, but like, even in the pay-per-view, right? Look at his matches. So Jericho, CIMA, I'm not counting elite matches, and Pac. That Pac match should be a barnstormer.
It was good.
It was fine. It was 7 out of 10. His best match, weirdly, is against CIMA.
That was good.
No, that's the thing. That's probably the best Kenny Omega match that's happened. It's probably in the top 10 AEW matches.
The Moxley one's going to be good.
Oh, the Moxley one's going to be great. But it's going to be like a territory match. It's not going to be like a... It was going to be like a Jericho match. It's probably going to be Omega's best match yet in AEW. But like,
I haven't seen like a shit ton of Omega stuff, but I do know that.
But you know he's capable. You're capable. You know he's capable of more.
And you know he's not just a wrestler. He's ready to fucking fight.
No, that's the thing. You've seen his Tanahashi match. You've seen his Jericho match at you have seen his Wrestle Kingdom Jericho match, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that. Have you seen any of the Okada matches? I generally don't. I've
seen one of them, but I don't know which one it is.
Was it a long one?
Was
it one Rob forced you to watch?
I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was one that I think I was told by the internet to watch. The whole internet.
But did you just go into Inside Votes and go, I haven't seen it, and then they all just shouted at you, so you got
It
back?
might be like the second sort of 6-star one.
Did it go to a draw? Do you remember who won?
It might have been the draw, actually, it was.
Okay, then yeah.
It was like a 40 or 50-minute match.
If it's for draw, then it's 60.
Yeah, and it was long. Yeah.
If Okada won, then you saw Wrestle Kingdom.
I was genuinely worn out at the end of it.
You are. I can't rewatch a Kenny Omega versus Okada match. But
No, I don't think I could.
I need to be in the. But it's one of those things where it's like objectively the best in its field, but also you need to be in the mood.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of a film comparison. Blade Runner. Right, as an infinite.
Style over substance.
No, exactly. I haven't seen Blade Runner. All right. I assumed it was meant to be like this big, awesome sci-fi film. All right. Fucking.
Godfather 2
Sure.
is very long, very, very long-winded. You watch it and you are in absolute fucking awe, but you have to leave it at least another couple of years before you watch it again.
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't rewatched the Iron Man, not the 2 out of 3 falls from last year's Dominion. And I know it's one of my favorite matches of all time, but I can't rewatch it because it's 70 minutes.
Yeah, fuck that.
But 70 minutes is some of the best wrestling in the world. Actually, I have a controversial opinion in that I think the G1 match they had, which was less than 30 minutes, is the second best one.
I couldn't tell you.
Because I know you haven't. One day, Garth, I'll force you to watch one of them. But that has been PodMania for this week. But
We've gone long.
But this is quite short for us. We've only been going.
Covered quite a wide range of subjects.
We've barely went 90 minutes.
Brilliant.
So like nice and concise. Normally we go about 2.5 fucking hours.
Hopefully we'll start getting stuff back on track.
Yeah, hopefully. To be fair, the Young Lion has been helping keeping it consistent.
Yeah.
So, and also, it's really good. You should check out the Young Lion podcast. Follow us on Twitter, and also, Garth should definitely watch New Japan, but mostly Stardom. You should definitely watch. It was funny because Garth was texting us for because he was showing AEW to his mate, and he really liked Rio, and I went, show him Stardom. Did you?
He is never going to watch that.
Why not? He liked Rio. Rio's a mid-carder in Stardom.
But, he's not. I'm telling you now, he will not watch it.
Fucking, it's so good. Anyway, Garth, where can we find you?
At Garthamania on Twitter.
Of course. Do you want to plug your band, or you get? Because you have more listeners now, so you should probably plug your band.
If you're in and around the Northeast, check out Loaded 90s. The only 90s band in the Northeast doing songs from the 1990s.
Oh, strictly songs from the. So
which means we are the best.
I couldn't persuade you to do anything. And do you do Stone Roses songs?
No, because they're 1989.
Oh, I thought I was gonna fucking catch you out. I was like,
you were not.
I was expecting you to go. Oh, we do. I Want to Be Adored. I'm like, haha. But no.
But then again, they did release Made of Stone in 91, I believe, so that's technically a re-release. But no, we don't cheat.
I was so close to catching you.
I mean,
out.
we could do something off Second Coming or
Second Coming shit.
Yeah,
when did the Saudi Cinema EP come out?
Would have been 89 or before.
That's a shame. Oh well. You can find me at CandyChris97. You can also find me most Wednesdays, not this week because Rob's a selfish cunt who went to New York. You can find me on the Young Lion podcasts. I talk about Japanese wrestling. In case you can't tell, it's my set.
Even more.
Right. All right, Garth. Rob doesn't let me talk.
Check out PodMania at PodMania, where you can find Chris.
Oh yeah,
with people.
I basically, with the exception of Rob, who puts out like the releases for I basically run that Twitter now. And to be fair, Garth, you can't say that my points aren't the right points.
True, but sometimes we need to be diplomatic.
No. We have a whole 60 listeners now, Garth.
or more eloquent?
Good point. Although I saw someone the other day who was telling What Culture to make Simon and Miller unblock them. What's even worse is that I know the guy. I've told you about the Axe dude before, haven't I?
I mean, must have been a special kind of arsehole to get blocked by Simon Miller.
That's what I said. I'm like, Simon's a perfectly lovely guy. And like, he was like, what did he say? He was like, oh, he said I must have got part of a mass blocking. And I'm sort of like, it was because he's in Edinburgh. He's a dude who lives in Edinburgh, and I know him, and I'm scared of him. It's why I don't go to as many shows as I do anymore. He's one of those people who like he doesn't send dick pics necessarily, but he tries to push women into letting him send the dick pic, which I think is worse. Which I put, I fucking he's ridiculous. I keep saying it about him, but he's a story for another time. But yeah, I'm sort of like, he said that that's what Simon said to him at a Discovery show in Edinburgh, and I'm sort of like, Simon definitely said that to you to get you the fuck away from his table. He doesn't wash, Garth.
Oh, fuck.
I've been inside this man's house, and his bathroom is mouldy. I know, and that's where you're meant to get clean.
Yeah.
And he judged me for drinking. No one should do that. I'm Scott. Anyway, I've really drawn out this outro. I can just remind everyone where we can find you, because they probably forgot by now.
At Garthmania.
You can find me.
Don't forget to check out the website as well.
Oh yeah, the universe mode. Which
I promise we will update the universe mode.
it's a bit of fun, but you shouldn't expect it weekly, lads. Come on. And that's about it. All right.
Yes.
Do you want
all next week?
Goodbye.
You've been listening to the PodMania Pro Wrestling Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at PodMania, Facebook at PodMania Podcasts, and YouTube and Instagram at Real PodMania. And check out the website podmania.co.uk. Until next time, wrestling fans.